Om Namah Shivaya. We now chant Gita Dhyanam, followed it by chapter 15 of the Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullarvindayatapatra येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्ससुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीयोत्पल शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनीं सोतीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तककेशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पतैरहरहः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्र मरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ पंचदशोऽध्यायः। श्री भगवानुवाच। In chapter 15 it is called Purushottama Yoga. Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the first portion, first 2.5 paragraphs, first 2.5 verses, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is revealing the nature of samsara. Samsara means the struggle to live one's life. He is revealing the nature of samsara and comparing it to a tree. It is called Ashwatha Vriksha, people tree, whose beginning, whose end is not known. Adi, Antam, not known. It has deep roots. The moolam is not seen, the roots are not seen. It branches, there are branches and branches, sub-branches, there are leaves, there are fruits. It is sustained, the root sustains the whole tree. And one is the moola. Moolam is the basic root. Then there are other roots which bind. We have to try and relate this to our lives. What is the cause of our struggle in our life? The teacher is explaining it to you in the form of an imagery in a tree, by giving a tree as an example. What is the cause of our struggle? The cause of our struggle is ajnana. Ajnana means lack of knowledge. We know we are. I know I exist. But I do not know my nature. I've taken myself to be a limited being, an insignificant being, and I struggle to come out of the limitedness and the insignificance that I've imposed on myself. And the limitedness and the insignificance is half knowledge. It is not full knowledge. Okay? So we had seen in all our earlier chapters how we have to do Atma Anatma Vivechana. What I can objectify is Anatma. So you can objectify the whole Srishti, the whole world you can objectify. That is Anatma. Anatma means not me. It's an object of my knowledge. And being an object of my knowledge, it cannot give me fulfillment. Because the object per se does not have the capacity to give fulfillment to anyone for that matter. It's finite. Anything finite cannot give me the infinite. And what am I looking for? The infinite. I am looking for the infinite. I am looking at myself through the lens of through a limited lens. I'm looking at myself through a keyhole, and what I see is something atrocious, something which is not acceptable to me. Therefore, I'm struggling to come out of this self-imposed limitedness. And how am I struggling to come out of? I am struggling to come out of it by acquiring things, by holding on to objects which for a short while gives me some kind of satisfaction. Something. I don't have this, so if I buy this, it gives me a little satisfaction. I don't have the latest version, so if I have this, it is for a short while. Till the packing is done and I pay for it, some satisfaction is there. Only till that. By the time you come home, you find the old was a lot better. Okay, so there is a little this limitedness. I am struggling with my limitedness. This struggle to come out of my limitedness and discover my fullness is samsara. The problem is I don't know it is fullness that I am seeking. That's why it's samsara. If I knew it was fullness that I am seeking, then it is not samsara. I don't want to come out of my, I don't know that I'm trying to come out of my limitedness. I see myself as a wanting person. I'm not comfortable in being a wanting person. Ye chahiye, wo chahiye, this I want, that I want. I'm not comfortable with that. I want to come out of that. And I don't know that's what I want to come out of. Therefore, I am struggling. The beautiful example which our teachers have always given. I have a very valuable ring, I lost it in one place. The place was so crowded. I went for looking in another talab, in another tank. Will I get it? I should lost it. I should look at it, the place where I lost it. I'm in another talab there. I say, Ishwara, Ishwara, let me get my rank, let me get my ring back. Will it work? You're searching for fullness in the wrong place. That fullness is I'm searching for fullness in the world, in the object, the world of objects. It is not there. Where is fullness? I am of the nature of fullness. And that is what is going to be revealed to us. I am of the nature of fullness. Sorry. And it is a matter of knowledge, not karma. I don't have to do something to become full. See, understand this logic well. You want to become full. Okay, that means if there is something called fullness, minus you, it is not full. Okay, suppose there's something called fullness, and you are not there. Can you call this fullness? So minus you, fullness is not fullness. Minus you, wholeness is not wholeness. And if you are already there in fullness and in wholeness, and if you are still searching for fullness and wholeness, what are you missing? You're missing the reality. Like it happens, all of us have. Specks on the head and look for specks all over. Huh? It's always here and you've been looking all over. So when you're looking for something which you already have, then it is no longer a question of karma. It is only a question of knowledge. You have to know that you have it. You are already a full being. You are already a conscious, complete being, and you have to know that. And for knowing that is like cutting the tree of samsara. You can cut the tree of samsara, bomb its roots, so it doesn't come up again. So if you basically cut the root, and what is the root? Ajnana. When you are able to cut it at the root, there is no more branches, no more leaves, and you discover the whole person that you already are. And what is this axe? Axe is used to cut a tree. What is the axe with which you are going to cut your samsara tree? The teacher says it is Asanga Shastra. If you look at the previous verse read, verse number 3 read, Na Rupamasyeha Tatopalabhyate, the Rupa is not visible. Nanto na Chadina Sampratishta, na Anta, na Adi, na Sampratishta. You are not able to see where it ends. You are not able to see Adi, where it began. You are not able to see Sampratishta, where is it established? That you are not able to see. Ashwathamenam Suvirudha Moolam. Okay, so, and this is well rooted. Suvirudha Moolam. And how do you get it? Asanga Shastrena Dridena Chitva. You have to cut it asunder. Chitra. Chinna binna kar dena. Chinna karna with what? Drida. Drida means you have to have a certain fortitude, a certain sankalpa, a certain determination, and asanga shastra. Asanga shastra means the shastra means a weapon. And what is asanga? Non-attachment. So we saw last week how we are supposed to look at non-attachment is not is not indifference. Very careful. A lot of things mean non-attachment. I am not attached to my family. I am not attached to this. I am not attached to that. Not that way. It doesn't mean indifference. It means understand that I have, as a person, I have a certain role to play. Others have certain roles to play. All our roles get, we meet each other in the roles. Each person is free to play his role. I am free to play my role, and we transact intelligently. It is okay when it comes to others, but when it comes to family, we are able to transact. We are not able to transact intelligently. We are overcome by sangha. Ati sangha, ati sneha. What is the sneha? My child should behave in this manner. My child should take this as a career. My child should have these kind of relationships. My child should do this. They should make me proud. These are expectations, no? This is called sangam. Okay, it's just asanga. Suppose the child was free enough to do what was proper. Okay, and I enjoy the growth of the child. This is called asanga. Hey, you're free to do what is proper, what is good for you. Your buddhi, I have given you education. This is not indifference. Okay, this is asangam. It is letting the person be free. See, let's say a neighbor is there. A neighbor comes and says, I am a doctor, my wife is a doctor, my father was a doctor, my mother was a doctor. All of us in the family are doctors. It's a real life case. 3 generations of doctors. My daughter wants to be a journalist. The other daughter wants to do MA in English and become an English teacher. And he says, Prarabdha, what karma? I can get them admission. We have our own hospital where you have to pay crores of rupees for getting a medical degree. I can get you for virtually hospital like that. And once you can complete, I've got a hospital for you to run. And after me, you will inherit the hospital. The first daughter says, hospital, aap hi ko mubarak ho. Keep your hospital. I want to be a journalist. Okay, then he thought, okay, first one is gone. Let me go to the second. What do you want to do? I want to study MA English and teach English. Like, do you imagine what doctors make and what teacher makes? He said, I'm not interested in what I'm making. I know I can live my life well in a single BHK, not even a BHK, a single room, half of which is a bedroom. I can live my life happily. And then I have found a fellow English student, and then together we will teach, and we want to do teaching in villages in India. This fellow says, hey Ram, and comes to you for counseling. What will you tell him? Will you tell him, no, 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 make them doctors? Say, no, brother, you should let the child have a growth of their own. You should see them grow independently. You should let them grow independently. You know, there is joy when they grow by themselves. You should let them get the joy. I want your advice like that. So your asanga as far as the other person is concerned. But when it comes to you, well, that's what he's saying. Asanga shastrena drida. Drida means you must be very firm, very committed. And this is where the teacher says, and the Gita itself says, this asanga is not easy. Don't take it lightly. Don't read this verse and say asanga, asanga and go away. Don't say like take it easy. Don't take it like that. It's not easy. Giving up attachment to wealth is not giving up attachment is not easy. A fellow is willing to give up everything. He said, just leave my $1,000,000 around. That's all. Everything else you take. He doesn't want to give up attachment to money because it buys him security. That's what he thinks. Money doesn't buy security. Money gives you financial well-being. It gives you elbow room. It gives you financial elbow room. Need not give you security. Because the more money you have, the more worried. You will need more cameras to protect your money. That means you're insecure. The more the property, the bigger are your walls. The bigger are your walls and CCTV cameras and security. What does it tell you? Money doesn't give you security. Money gives you financial elbow. It gives you purchasing power. It gives you purchasing power and control over people who value money. People who don't value money, no control. You have lots of rupees. What will you do with it if you cannot use it in any other country? You have a lot of what is called. There are some countries which are not even worth some currencies which are not even worth the paper it is printed on. Even as you stand in the queue, the value goes up. Bread used to cost 1,000, and by the time your turn comes, it's already 3,000 rupees. That's the kind of inflation in the market. What is the value of the money? So money gives you a false sense of security. And that false sense of security is very difficult to give up. Attachment to house, attachment to your car, attachment to your family, and then attachment to money naturally. Then comes this religious attachments. I have been doing puja for over 60 years. Before that, my father used to do. One of our bigger, the proper puja. Before that, his father used to do. Over a period of time, I've developed a deep attachment and I'm not able to give up that puja. You're sick, you're not able to do the puja, and you're sad from it. Say, oh God, you have punished me for not being able to do your puja. Okay, from puja, next, why do you want to do puja? So that I can go to a better loka. Okay, I want to go to heaven or somewhere. I want to go somewhere where I don't have the local problems. What are the local problems? You have electricity problem, water supply, rent annually increased. Okay. Or if it is your houses, house taxes, income tax, you don't want to have all these problems. You want to go to another loka. Problem free. You have different set of problems there. The problem is very clear. This was a very beautiful story told by my teacher. He said there was a boy who, a man or a lady, take it. Let's not have gender bias here. They went to Swargaloka. They came to a hotel. And it was written there, whatever you eat is free. Just eat and have fun. This fellow said, yeah, this is truly Swargaloka. I can eat what I want and I need not pay. Then he sat down and had 3 persons meal. In free money, we always have something extra. If something is for unlimited meals, that fellow will have 3 cups of rice. Normally, if they say he will have 1 teaspoon of rice. So like that, he had his full. Really, he had his fill. Now he's swollen like that snake after that, that ajgar after its meal. And now he's getting up. And that Swargaloka waiter gives him a bill. It says 30 Swargaloka mudra. You have to pay. He says, you only said just now that I can eat whatever I want. There is no payment. He says, yes, for you, your payment is no payment. This is your father's bill. See, there also you have to pay a bill. So whatever you ate, you don't have to pay. Your son will perhaps have to go and pay. Son, daughter, or somebody has to go and pay. So that loka is not any better. You don't have this kind of problems. You have a different set of problems. See, people living in some part of India, especially say people living in China, very hot, very hot, very hot. April, May, very hot, very hot. So they go to a cooler climate. Where very cold, very cold, very cold. Perhaps the things are slightly better. Slightly different from what? I don't even know whether it's better. Different from what it is. A little more different, a little more cleaner. Okay, maybe you know what kind of other filth is there you do. We think we are very safe. I was traveling last year. I think in India you can just go there, look at your thing. As I was going around, my son said, be very careful with your mobile, hold it tight. Suddenly somebody will come, knock it off and take it away. Especially if it's an iPhone. And if you're wearing goggles, aviator and things like that, Ray-Ban, you will be elbowed in the ribs and before you look around, it will be go. So there also is there. Taskari is even there. So what happens? That's what he's trying to say. By change of position in A to B doesn't give you fullness. You have to cut out the attachment for being A or B. If you are in A, fine. If he is A is a B, fine. If B is back to A, fine. You are mindful, aware, and objective. Dhrida, you should be able to give up this attachment. He says it's very difficult. Okay, but you should have Dridata. And what is the Dridata? Viveka Vairagya. You should know it's good for you. You are having diabetes, so you just don't eat sugar. You should know it's good for you. So you have to give up attachment. Like that, you have to know what is good for. What is good for you? Why should you not be attached? Because attachment creates more bonds. See, remember last week I told you port, possessions, obligations, relationships, transactions, port. So if you have possessions, there are certain obligations. If you have relationships, there are on either side, there is an obligation, there is also a transaction. Port. So port will keep you occupied in samsara, will not free your mind to inquire into who am I. It will not give you the freedom because this place is occupied, the inner leisure is gone. So for the sake of inner leisure, the teacher says, give up the preoccupation, that is detachment. Preoccupation. What transaction is required to be done? Do. But preoccupation with the world of objects, with artha kama, only occupies more disk space. More disk space taken, it prevents you from being the happy person you are. That's what he said in verse number 4. 3, then 4. He says, once you're able to do this, you will discover, okay? You discover inner leisure, okay? In that inner leisure, in the mind free from preoccupation, you discover your fullness. Thereafter, that goal, tat patam parimargitavyam gata yasmin na nivartanti. Having discovered that fullness. In all other places, you go to Swargaloka, you have to come back. You go to Gandharva Loka, you have to come back. You go to any other Loka, you have to come back. You have to definitely come back. But when you discover the fullness in you, when you discover the happy being that you actually are, na nivartanti, there is no relapse. That's what the teacher wants to say. And he compares this and says, prapadhye tam evacha adhyam purusha. Very beautifully given here. Adhyam purusha. The teacher says, how to relate to Ishvara. How do I relate to God? Go back to the earlier chapters. In this one verse, he is re-establishing how do you relate to God. Okay? God, we will not use the word God anywhere. We will use the word Ishvara. Okay? How do you relate to Ishvara? Go back, Upasana. Remember Upasana. What are the effects of Upasana? First level Upasana, Eka Rupa, Saguna Rupa, Ishta Devata Bhakti. I invoke my Ishvara, my Ishta Ishvara in a Pratima or a Pratika, either in a form or in a symbol. And in that particular form, I pour all my affection, I pour all my love, I pour all my problems. I feel like crying, I don't cry before anyone, in front of anyone, I cry only in front of my Ishta Devata. And that Ishta Devata is not an idol for me, that Ishta Devata is real for me. Okay? Eka Rupa Saguna Ishta Devata Upasana. Consistently done, I get a handle to handle the challenges in life. I mature, grow into looking at Ishvara in one particular form. The Ishvara expands. Ishvara doesn't expand, I expand. My Vishalata, my Buddhi expands. And I see Ishvara everywhere. Vishwarupa Ishvara. Everywhere means start here. My eyes function because of what? Because of a certain order, a certain law. And the law is infallible. I recognize Ishvara as a manifestation of that order. I breathe. It's in Ishvara's manifestation of infallible order. I see sunrise, sunset, I see oceans, I see skies, I see trees. I see a certain natural phenomena happening, and I see Ishvara's presence, manifestation everywhere. And when I'm able to see single, small Ishvara means Ishta Devata, one-to-one Ishvara, in my love I surrender to him. And when I see Ishvara as a as a Vishwarupa Ishvara, in the Vishalata, I surrender to him. I say, oh my God, everything is Ishvara. I don't exist. This individual body, Ishvara. There is a system functioning, Pancha Prana, Pranavayu, Apanavayu, Vyana, Samana, Udana Vayu, hair growing, blood flow. All these things happen because of infallible order, that is Ishvara. And I say, oh my God, here I surrender in amazement. My God, what a way it's unfolding. So he says, Adhyam Purushaha, you surrender. What happens? When you surrender, again, this overloaded disk and all these old wasteful files get deleted. Deleted an empty recycle bin so that they are not restored again. All the old files are deleted. You have inner leisure to know your Swarupa as not different from Ishvara's Swarupa. That's where he is taking you. And having known that, there is no relapse. That was up to verse number 4. Let us lead verse number 5 and understand what is required, for knowing this, and for owning up this, and for being able to live this knowledge, for able to live a life in alignment with this knowledge. What do I need? Okay. In verse number 5, the teacher is highlighting. He says, Nirmana Sanga Doshaha. Nirmana Sanga Doshaha. Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha. Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha. Dvandvair Vimukta Sukha Dukkha Sangye. Dvandvairvimukta sukha dukkha sangye gacchantya padamavyayam tat gacchantya mudha avyayam tat. Whole verse. Nirmana mohajita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha Dvandvairvimukta sukha dukkha sanyai gacchantya mudha padamavyayam tat. So, gachanti, you reach as though, reach means you're not going like that. You discover that they ask, they say, no, ye pancha hua aadmi hai. When he has reached. Reached means it's as though reaching. Meaning I've got what I really wanted in life. Okay. Gachanti amuda. Don't read this Gachanti muda. Gachantya muda. Gachanti amuda. Ti and I in Sandhi becomes Gachantya muda. Gachanti amuda. Amuda means what? A wise man. You have to use your wisdom. Ishvara has blessed you with wisdom. Use that wisdom. And for what purpose? For doing vichara of the nature of objects. What is the nature of the objects? What is the nature of the world of objects? So, wise man, you have got buddhi. See, somebody calls you. You get an SMS. Press this link. You will get $300 million. Will you press? You have got enough wisdom now. There are some people who will press. They are called muda. You are amuda. You will not do it. At least you will call me because this fellow is a ex-banker. He will possibly know. So, you are amuda. So, just as you are intelligent enough to know what is to be done, see, you have to go east and there is a train going to the west. Just because there is a train available, you will take a west going train. Hey, ticket to kharid liya, let me go that way. You won't do that. So, mudha, amudha, one who knows how to live intelligently, a wise person. Amudha, gachanti, he as though reaches what? Padam avyayam tat. He owns up that status. He owns up that fullness that he is. He owns up that status. And what is the status? And what are the features of the status? First, nirmana moha. Okay? Mana means pride. Moha means delusion. So what is this pride? They did not respect me. Biggest problem. Mani, he is called a Mani. I went to their house. They did not even respect me. उनके घर गए पानी भी नहीं पिलाया. They're there, in some parts of the country we have some cultures. For example, it's a beautiful culture. When you go to areas like arid lands, Rajasthan, Gujarat, In northern areas where there's a lot of arid lands, and somebody comes home. In a dry climate, when somebody comes home, what will you offer? Water. Acha. Now this person comes deep down to South India, in a place like Kerala. Kerala में क्या है? Only pani is there. So you visit a person in Kerala's house, and he comes and says, and then he talks to you, and then he will ask you a question. Chai Gudiko, will you have tea or something? He said, no, no, no. Then he will say, Acha, okay. And he will send you away. This person goes back and say, अरे उनको अतिथि सत्कार करना ही नहीं आता है. They don't know how to say अतिथि सत्कार. They didn't even ask me for pani. A pani they ask you in deserts, not in Kerala, where pani is available all over the place. So, so this is called manam. And they didn't even ask me for water. They didn't ask me to sit down. So this is called, that is Atmani Pujaniya Bhava. You think you are a great person and you deserve respect. Why should I deserve respect? Because I'm educated. I'm a double doctorate, triple doctorate, or whatever. I've been awarded. There was a fellow who said, the queen tapped me on my shoulder with a sword and made me a knight. So a Red Indian said, somebody tapped my father with a tomahawk and made him an angel. That make you a knight and I respect you and I call you sir. And what is this? This is called expect. Manam. Manam from what? One is not satisfied as it is with oneself. So you add on. No? You add on accolades, horns, so that you appear big. Actually, you are not able to accept your smallness. So the smallness you want to make it look big. That is called manam. And he says, nirmanam. Accept yourself for what you are. If people respect you, fine. If they don't respect you, fine. Somebody calls you, you know what a great person is? Fine. Somebody says, what greatness? I don't know, I have not seen him do anything great. Fine. That means you don't attach a certain obsession to people recognizing you, and in the process you feel better. Nirmanam. And if you are expecting so much, what happens? Disk space occupied. And then what? You will have a long list of people who didn't respect you. You will not have a list of people who respect you. You will have a long list of people who did not respect you. I went to their house, they did not respect. And look how the story goes, I went to their house when I was about 21 or 22. They did not offer even pani. Why? Because those days, I and my family was surviving on the scholarship their grandfather gave. Their grandfather gave me, and I was a small person, and they did not care for me. Today, I am a big man. Today, they care for me. They also have another thing, another way of caring. Hey, what's this fellow? A multimillionaire. He used to survive. He used to wear my younger brother's pants and trousers, discarded trousers, half trousers and shirts, and grew up so big. They always remember these giveaways and second hand they gave me. Manam. Nirmanam. Moha. Moha means delusion. Delusion quite simply means in the mind you are attached to certain things and you start believing them to be true. You start believing them to be true. It is so true that you are not able to get out of that at all. And all of them occupy space. It is like, the moha occupies more space than manam. And when the space is occupied, so much of space is gone from your system to appreciate the wholeness that you are. I'm a great scholar. I come from this family, and then I'm great. I should get this. I should get this. When I chant, what happens? I can make the earth tremble. Nirmana, nirmoha. So one should be free from these binding obsessions and habits. Okay. Good, if people respect me, fine, I'm happy about it. Yeah, somebody says, and then people can end up even appreciating you for the wrong reason. I once went to give a performance somewhere. And after the performance, a fellow comes up and says, Sir, what do you do for your hair, sir? I said, what hair? He said, Sir, so it's wavy and what a color. I said, yeah, I spent all my energy in giving you a Gita talk. You appreciate my hair. All this is possible. So, Nirmana, Nirmoha. Then, Jita, Sanga dosha. See, by Sangam, by attachment, it is called a dosham because you are not able to come out of it. You are not able to come out of it. It occupies space. It brings you down. And then it prevents you from being the happy person you are. So Sanga dosha jita. Jita means Sangam can be there. Okay, Sangam here means Sneha can be there. Sneha is good. Sneha is definitely good. Hey, your grandchild gives a performance on stage. Your grandchild has got a doctorate. Your grandchild is now doing very well. You will not say, Uska karma, let her do. Will you do that? You're so proud of her or him. You say, you know what my grandchild has done? Amazing. Now, where does Manam come here? You want somebody to say she has taken after you. Then you feel good. So my grandchild has taken after me. So, but if they don't say, my grandchild has done well, they have not appreciated because their grandchild is not doing well. It brings you down. Whereas your grandchild does well, you can appreciate. You expect others to appreciate. Appreciate kiya nahi kiya. What's the big deal? So, jita sanga dosha. You've won over. You have overcome the urge to remain attached, binding attachment. You have overcome that urge. Chitta Sanga Dosha. Okay, then you come. Vini, Nivritta Kama. Nivritta is a very beautiful bird. Vritti means free. Vritta means free. Nivritta means very well free. Nivritta, very well free, you are so completely free from what? Binding desires. Kama. You are free from all kinds of binding desires. You are walking through a Rolls Royce showroom and you live in a place like what, you live in Delhi, Khariwali and Paratha Wali Gali, that's what you live in Delhi. Or Bada Bazaar in Calcutta, or some narrow lanes of Bombay or Chennai, will you be feeling very bad that you are not able to buy a Rolls Royce and drive through them? So thank God I don't have one. You are okay with a bicycle. So what is your karma there? Hey, how beautiful. What's the cost, sir? 150,000 pounds sterling. Excellent, beautiful. Keep walking. I don't know if it's 150 pound sterling or more. So wonderful, very good, very beautiful. Who last purchase? Sultana Burla, Mubarak. Let him buy one more. You're not bothered at all. You just walk past it. It just doesn't affect you at all. So there is no karma at all. There is a teetotaler, okay? A teetotaler. And he goes into all these duty-free shops telling how all these grand brands of liquor, and he walks through all of them, look at them. Where is the karma there? He's only wondering, how do people pay so much to drink this stuff? No karma at all. Vinivritta kama. Next comes a very beautiful. Next two are together. Vimukta dvandvai. And what is dvanda means? You are also free from dvandva, the pairs of opposites. What are the pairs of opposites? Sukha, dukkha, sanye, known as pleasure and pain. You are free from the opposite, from these pair of opposites. Sukha, dukkha. That doesn't mean you won't feel pain. That doesn't mean you won't feel sadness. Okay, understand this. No? Free from dukkha. So there's somebody who's met with an accident is saying, I'm free from dukkha. I'm not even bothered. No, that's not a human being. That's a zombie. We don't want Atma Jnanis like that. But the dukkha here is not a paralyzing dukkha. You feel sad. There is an emotion, dukkha, is a wonderful emotion. It's such a beautiful emotion. Empathy, such a pure karuna bhava. You feel sorry for somebody. It's a beautiful emotion. That emotion does not paralyze you. You do what is required to be done. You say, "Ayyo, paam, so sorry, yaar, kitna hai, bechara hai." And what you do, you also cry, but you don't do anything else. So when you are sukha dukkha dvandvai muktaha, sorrow doesn't overwhelm and paralyze you. Sukha doesn't take you over the moon. Especially when you are very happy, you make all kinds of promise. I'll do this, I will do this, ye kar denge, an kore debo, tan kore debo, they say in Bangla. An kore debo, tan kore debo, I'll do this, I'll do that. You are not over exuberant in dukh sukha. You are not overwhelmed and paralyzed by dukkha. We have what is called FIR quotient, frequency of emotional stress, intensity of emotional stress, recovery from emotional stress. FIR quotient should be low. Or sorry, it should be high. You should be recovery time should be fast. Low means you are in trouble. You are not mukta. But if you are vinirmukta, yeah, vimukta. If you are vimukta, you are free from all this. You are free from all this. Free from all this means free from paralyzing dukkha, free from over exuberant sukha. Hey, definitely somebody is done well, I'm happy about it. Somebody is not doing well, somebody is ill, I'm unhappy about it. You feel bad. So that it doesn't take away you being human. Okay? Sukha dukkha sanyai. Then comes up. And then amuda we have already seen. Now comes a very beautiful word, which we will start today and explore also next week. Adhyatma Nitya. Atma Vichara and spiritual thought process. Nitya will be steady and predominant in your thought process. Your thought process will be predominantly Atma Vichara, Atma Vidya, Atma nature of oneself, spiritual sadhana, Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga. This will be predominantly your thought process. So, Nirmana Moha, Jitasanga Dosha, Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha, Dvandvair Vimuktaha, Sukha Dukkha Sangyai, Gachanti Amudha, Padam Avyayam Tat. He discovered, no, he abides him in self. Remember chapter 2? Atman evatmana tushtaha. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Apne aap mein santusht. You are seated. You abide in your wholeness. You abide in your significance. You abide in your completeness. You abide in your Ananda Swarupa. Krishna leads you up to this. And in the next verse, in verse number 6, Krishna gives a very beautiful description of what is this, how is it, this owned up Atma Swarupa, how is it? And not somebody else, it's you. It is you. It is my own Atma Swarupa, how is it? He will introduce in verse number 6. We will meet again Monday next and continue our study. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भया सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय हो, स्वामी दयानंद महाराज की जय हो, सब संतों की जय हो, बोले शंकर नटराज तुम्हारी जय हो। जय श्री कृष्णा, जय श्री राम। We will meet again next week. The recording will be available, which I will upload in the group. You can listen to it. Om.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Om.